Well, I'm not the kind to kiss and tell, but I've been seen with fire up. I've never been with anything less than a 9. So fine, I've been on fire with Sally Field, gone past with a girl named Bo, but somehow they just don't end up as mine. It's a death-defying life I lead. I take my chances. I die for living in the movies and TV. But the hardest thing I ever do is watch my leading ladies kiss some other guy while I'm bandaging my knee. I might fall from a tall building. I might roll a brand new car.
Another classic 80s, The Fall Guy. Watch it if you can. Vectors. We've done a bit in class, so we'll just do go through an easy one to begin with. This one is just a square bit of something. There is a pivot point there, but we'll use that in future videos to look at moments. But for now, we're just going to be doing the resultant force of this force, this force, this force, and this force. So just the resultant force for this first video. Anything coming up is positive, anything coming this way, right, is positive, anything coming down or to the left is negative. So we're just going to look at the resultant force and its direction. So here's my grid. Here's my 10. My 10's coming down, so it's got a vertical component, hasn't got a horizontal. It's coming down, so that makes it negative. So minus 10. The 16's also coming down. Hang on, not there. The 16 is here, it's going that way. Anything go to the left we call negative, so we put a negative there. It hasn't got a vertical component, so 0. Just going straight horizontal. The 5 is coming up, so it's got a vertical component, no horizontal. It's coming straight up, so plus 5. 0 because it's not going horizontal. Last one, the 8 is coming straight horizontal, no vertical, it's coming to the right, so we'll call that positive. Positive. So only 4 forces, nice and easy. To find the total horizontal, we'll add these up. So minus 16 plus 8 gives you minus 8. That's the total resultant horizontal. Same thing with the vertical. Minus 10 plus 5 minus 5. So that there is the resultant vertical component. So add them up, total horizontal is 8 kilonewtons to the left, because anything coming to the left or down is negative. So negative, negative, so it's 8 to the left, and the vertical is also minus, which means it's coming down. So it's going to look something like that. So 8 to the left and 5 down. So the resultant force is going to be something coming down this way. We don't know the size yet, but we know the triangle. And we can work the angle out in a bit, but we know it's coming down something like that. So it's coming something like this, somewhere. Next thing to do is work out the resultant force. We know that's 8 and that's 5, so I've done 5 and 8 again because there's an 8 there and a 5 there, so just going to use Pythagoras. So the triangle I'm using is this triangle there, look, because they're all the same. You can draw the triangle by hand if you want to. So 8 and 5. This length here now will be our resultant force. Bit of Pythagoras for us. So Pythagoras, 5 squared plus 8 squared, all squared gives us the answer. So in your calculator, put 5 squared plus 8 squared. Press that button. So 9.43 kilonewtons. Don't forget the kilo. So the resultant force of all that is 9.43 kilonewtons in this direction, coming down. So that's one thing done. So now we know this, the resultant force is 9.43. Coming downwards this way, we need to work out this angle. So we can use trigonometry again. So here's my triangle, there's my 8, and there's my 5, and there's my 9.43. There's my 8, and don't forget this line here would be 5 as well. So I've got 8, 5 there, and my 9.43 coming up. 8, 5, 9.43. So find that angle. We can use, we know the sides. You can use any of these, SOHCAHTOA. So I'm going to use tan. So tan of the angle is opposite of adjacent. That's my opposite. That's my adjacent. Don't forget you've got to inverse tan this one. Just trying to find the angle. So in your calculator, 5 divided by 8 gives me 0.625. That's not going to be the angle, so we've got to inverse tan it. Inverse tan this. 5 divided by 8. Yeah, no, sorry. Yeah, no, I did it wrong again. Shift inverse tan. 5 over 8. 5 divided by 8. Close brackets. So 32 degrees. So the resultant force is coming down at 32 degrees. Make sure you're in degrees, not radians. So that's my angle, and that's my force. Right, so we can say that we don't know everything, we don't know exactly where it is because we don't know the moment yet, but the resultant force of this, all these forces, is going to be something like, we don't know where it is, but it's going to be something like this, coming down like that. We don't know where it is because we haven't done the moments yet, but it's coming down 9.43. So 9.43, and the angle in there, say, is 32. So it's doing 9.43, and in there is 32. Now we've only considered the resultant force, so we don't know which side of the pivot point it is because we haven't done the moments. But this problem was just working out the resultant force and its direction and the angle from the horizontal. So there's one example. Nice and easy. This one, a little bit harder. Which we will do in the next video. Same process. We've just got 7 kilonewtons there, and there's angles to them, so we need to break them down into resultant, horizontal and vertical forces. But that's in part number 2. See you soon.